So, and one question, interesting question I have is like, so there was this Vedic religion
Mm.
which has like yajna, homas, everything,
Mm.
and then you have this Buddhist and Jains completely opposing it, and
Mm.
because it is very, they used to, I believe they say like it's all like a bunch of Brahmanical propaganda,
Mm.
doing it just to squeeze and milk kings and everything for money for economic benefits, and they opposed it completely. Once the political switch happened, Brahminical thing went almost very very down. And
Mm.
the Ashoka inscriptions, nobody mentions Rama or anybody, the Pandavas,
Ah.
nobody, Krishna, nobody gives a damn. Whenever this Brahmanical people took the political control, they
Mm.
project this narrative, right? They do
Oh,
all
yeah,
these
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So how do we see like how was the ancient India, particularly the Alexander times and before that to
Mhm.
Gupta period before
Correct.
that?
So,
That
yeah, you are partially correct, but not fully, because even in the after Alexander invasion, I mean, it is an incursion basically up to Sindhu River, not more than that, because he didn't go beyond that period, that point. And there were powerful kings. No, so after that, there are a lot of Indo-Greek kingdoms came up, and the Indo-Greek kingdoms, there are some kings who converted into Vaishnava tradition, etc. So definitely,
I think this Bhagavatism was separate at that point, right?
yes, yes. So that way we can very clear that during the Mauryan period, the Vaishnava tradition and Shaiva traditions were very active. But actually, no, sometimes, no, few generations earlier to Chandragupta Maurya and Mahapadmananda, you have Buddha and Mahavira, right? So just a few century earlier to Buddha and Mahavira, things become very dirty, because the Brahmanas of that period, in the generation of this Buddha and Mahavira, they were Kshatriyas basically. The Buddha's ancestry goes to Kusha, Ikshwaku King Kusha, who is the son of Rama. So Sri Buddha is a descendant of Sri Rama. He is a Kshatriya. Similarly, Mahavira have connection with the Ikshwaku lineage. So both of them are Ikshwaku lineage, royal Kshatriya gurus. And during that period, the Brahmanas were very powerful, and then they started milking the society by using these yajnas, etc. Because of that, there was an aversion towards, because of this excessive this varna hierarchy, where the lower varna is treated extremely badly. These were not there in the Mahabharata Ramayana period, because Sri Rama is very much a friend of Guha, who is a Nishada, and Dasharatha was cursed for killing a ascetic, a rishi, who is a son of a Shudra and Vaishya. So, and Sumandra was like a father to Sri Rama. And so many things from Ramayana and Mahabharata, the Varna system was not very acute towards stopping anybody from becoming king. Even a Shudra can become a king, or a Shudra can do a tapas. All these things were there.
Even
Ah,
main minister of Dasharatha was Sumitra something.
Sumandra, who was a
He's
Suta.
also yeah, he's a Sutaputra. So
Suta,
yeah,
Suta actually. And in the Mahabharata, it's slightly some kind of animosity is there, but Bhimasena was humiliating Karna, but only that was not a Varna-based hatred. Because Karna was already a bad person who is unnecessarily challenging Arjuna, etc. And he was very aggressive and egoistic. That is why Bhima tried to use his Suta status to humiliate him. Otherwise, Bhima also not in favor of Varna system, etc. And Duryodhana take advantage of it. So anyway, both Mahabharata and Ramayana, you don't see much difficulty. But towards the period of Buddha, things become very dirty, and it becomes beyond control. So at that time, Buddha and Mahavira both independently challenged the Brahminical culture and Brahminical way of thought. But the one more surprising thing, they were, at least in the original Buddhism and Jainism, they were not against the Vedic tradition, like Westerners make it. They just didn't agree with some of the aggressive, extremely aggressive policies of Brahmanas. They opposed animal
can you
sacrifice.
elaborate? What do you mean? What do you mean by the policies? They are
Yeah, animal sacrifices inside the Vedic, no, in the all the Vedic sacrifices, they use animals now. For example, Ashwamedha, there are 100 types of animals were sacrificed, including the horse. And in Rajasuya also there are animal sacrifices. Various Atiratras, all the Vedic rites. animal sacrifices are there, and there is a concept of dakshina where huge amount of money was given to the brahmanas. So these were all not very desirable. So exactly like you mentioned, they were just using this Vedic sacrifices for money making. That kind of situation came. Then they took a deviation path, and Buddha and Mahavira, they said, no, this is not good for the economy, not good for the country. And they created the Buddhist and Jainist tradition, but they didn't abandon 80% of Vedic civilization. Only the ritual part they have abandoned. For example, in the Buddhism, you can see Indra and other devatas, Brahmadeva, all this Yaksha, Kubera, all are in Buddhist and Jainist tradition. They all these are individual. These concepts are there, and in the temples you can see Buddhist and Jain temples. You can see all of them, but only excessive Brahmanism they oppose.
I thought of some question, I just forgot. So,
Yeah.
anyways, okay. Next, let's go to the before we get into your work. You said like your work is basically the foundations have foundations in Srikant Talgeri's like right. He did the mandalas classification chronologically. So on what basis he did that chronological classification? Like 6, 3, 7 mandalas are the earliest, and the 8, 9, 10 are the late stage.
Yes.
Right?
That is
So
a good
what was the
question.
principle behind, and how did he get?
One is Talagiri is a pioneer in study of the Rig Veda and unearthed a lot of historical and geographical information from the Rig Veda. Of course, some of them carried forward from M.L. Bhargava, who was the Rig Veda geography expert. So Talagiri also added on to M.L. Bhargava and done the chronological. So one main thing he had done is he understood the mandalas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They are not in chronological order. So how did they discover? How did he discover? He looked at the ascetic lineages and the royal lineages. So Rishi Munis, who is the oldest ancestor, all of them are in the 6th mandala of the Rig Veda. And in the 3rd and 7th mandala, he saw their descendants. And in the 4th mandala, he saw the descendants of Rishi Munis mentioned in the 3rd and 7th mandala. And in the 5th mandala, he see the subsequent generations. And this is also same pattern that you can see in the royal lineages. Bharata lineages, three Bharata lineages are mentioned in the Rig Veda. The Kushika lineage of Vishwamitra, and the Tritsu lineage leading to the Panchalas, and the Samvarana lineage leading to the Kurus and the Pandavas and Kauravas. So all the 3 lineages, there are ancestral kings that is in the 6th mandala. For example, Divadasa, and his descendant Sudas is in the 3rd and 4th mandala, and Sudas' descendant Sahadeva is in the oldest part of the 1st mandala, and Sahadeva's descendant Somaga is in the 4th mandala. So that very clearly shows the 6th mandala is the oldest, 3rd and 4th is the 2nd oldest. I mean, 3rd and 7th is the 2nd oldest. Because 3rd is the Vishwamitra mandala and 7th is the Vasishtha mandala. Both were advisor to Sudas. So that 2 mandalas are contemporary. And then the 4th mandala, which is we can see descendant of Sudas Sahadeva I mentioned in the 1st mandala, and then the 4th mandala, whereas Sahadeva's descendant Somaga. So like that, you get the full chronology. But 8, 9, and 10, they are actually numerically as well as chronologically the oldest.
Okay, but in mandala 6, I think there is the Bharadwaja, right?
Bharadwaja.
Which is the very earliest, the first one. But in Ramayana, it says like Valmiki's disciple is Bharadwaja.
Yeah. I will tell you.
Bharadwaja is okay.
So Bharadwaja, Bharadwaja
Ramayana also has but Ramayana again has Vishwamitra, Vasishtha,
correct.
all these guys.
Yeah, I will explain. This is a big doubt. So when we say Bharadwaja, he is not an individual. Or when we say Vasishtha or Vishwamitra, they are not individuals. All of them are ascetic lineage names. If you want to know who is this particular individual Vasishtha, then you have to look it in the Rigvedic Sukta. There is an Anukramani where the Rishi name is mentioned. So we have to say, if for example, one of the suktas in the 7th mandala, you can say it is authored by Vasishtha. So we can, for example, the Dasharajana battle, that sukta is authored by Vasishtha. It is the 18th sukta in the 7th mandala. So that Vasishtha we designate as Vasishtha 7.18. because you don't have the real name. No, it's not, it is lost. So we have to call this Vasishta as Vasishta 7.80 because he is the author of the 18th Sukta of the 7th Mandala. And similarly, in the 10th Mandala, you have a Vasishta. In the many Suktas are authored by Vasishta in the 10th Mandala. So that Vasishta is the priest of Dasharatha and Rama. And he was a contemporary of Aja, the grandfather of Rama. And this Aja's contemporary Vasishta, author of many Suktas in the 10th Mandala, he became the priest of Dasharatha and Rama. But the 7th Mandala Vasishta was the priest of Sudas. And similarly, Vishwamitra, there is in 7th Mandala Vishwamitra and 10th Mandala Vishwamitra. Bharadwaja, the oldest Bharadwaja in the 6th Mandala was the priest of Divodasa, the oldest king. But in the 10th Mandala, there is a Bharadwaja. Similarly, 5th Mandala, we have Atri, it is Atri Mandala. But you can see Atri, another Atri in the 10th Mandala. Similarly, there is a Gautama in the 10th Mandala. Also, all the Rishi Munis who have interacted with Sri Rama mentioned in the Valmiki Ramana, there is that Rishi Muni you can see in the 10th Mandala, contemporary to Sri Rama. Like that.